I'm Alex Perez,
I'm Mike Morales.
and you're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on TequilaAficionado.com. And we continue to taste our Tequila 88. We just did the Blanco,
Right.
and now we're moving on to the Reposado.
The Reposado, which we've already poured in our glassware, our real glass flutes here.
Now they say they're using oak barrels for 12 months.
Mm-hmm. And they're calling it a Reposado for 12 months, so it must be just under.
It's got to be under.
Got to be just under, like, a few minutes under, a day under.
Or else it'd be
Yeah. But they're calling this the Reposado. And it's not very dark. I mean, it's a nice, pleasant color. It's a very nice, beautiful yellow. It's a nice gold color.
It's got a light, real light gold color to the tequila. Again, it's very similar viscosity to the Blanco.
Mm-hmm.
And what we mean by the viscosity, we mean the how it sticks and clings to the glass. And then when it starts to drop down, you can call them legs, or you can call them tears.
Well, that's not an indication of a great tequila. It's a good green light for you to continue. So I think we should smell it.
What if you have no legs?
Glycerin is what actually causes the legs, and glycerin is actually an additive that is allowed, according to the normas, by the CRT, that can be added to tequila, and it's added to almost every spirit has a little bit of glycerin. Some occurs naturally
Right.
in tequila, it does. Others are more enhanced, but it's not going to hurt you. It's very pleasant to look at. I think if it's runny, because I know that glycerin is a process of distillation, the natural glycerin occurring. If it's too runny, it may be cut with water, too much water, and that would mute the flavor.
Right.
So.
The bouquet is a little muted to me.
I'm getting kind of a chemically.
Yeah.
There's a chemically smell at the very bottom, and it's not necessarily alcohol. Not like the Blanco. The Blanco is a little bit alcohol-y at the bottom, which is what you should be when you use a real glass. You'll break it up in three parts, and usually the alcohol stays at the bottom. You'll be able to pick it out with your nose. But
well, I kind of mentioned to this previously, and even off the air. There's something masking the tequila. There's something I think getting in the way of having it really shine through. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe something with the distillation process. Again, it might be the flavor profile they want. Personally, it's not something that I personally like.
yeah, the nose is not if you're looking for a sweet bouquet or a lot of wood notes.
Or I don't get any.
I don't even get any wood notes, so I'm getting something chemical.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not getting anything. Maybe it might be a bad bottle. I'm not sure. Because sometimes that does happen. You get a bad batch, or something happens when it's in transit, or you have some taint from a cork or something like that.
Well, it's not. I don't think there's anything to do with the cork or anything like that. But there's definitely a chemically smell to it that I don't smell wood per se. Now, I will say this, and those of you who are whiskey drinkers and bourbon drinkers, Mr. Demon is East Indian, and he told me as part of his story, whiskey is a large part of their culture, and they've been drinking whiskey for a long time, and so the flavor palettes of the people who imbibe in that country are geared toward the whiskey palate. So would this be kind of a comparable to any whiskeys that you've had? Maybe like a strong Jack Daniels or a bourbon? Because I'm thinking that the flavor profile is really, it's a rather strong profile, but it's not necessarily strong in the wood.
No, again, I think something is masking this, because in a whiskey you do get,
Even charred, even a charred wood of some
yes.
sort. And I'm not getting it.
I'm not getting
I'm
I'm not getting
getting
caramel. I'm not getting
yeah,
nuts. I'm not
me
getting,
neither. I'm getting a chemically, for lack
some
of a
things.
better term, I'm getting a chemically smell. Mm. Mm. Mhm.
Sharing the spittoon.
Yeah. Now on the flavor, that's where I got a little bit more wood.
Yeah.
I actually got wood on the taste, not on the bouquet. If you're looking for it to be aromatic for you, it's not going to do that. But sip it, give it a sip because the wood does come through.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the wood comes through more than the alcohol and the chemical
It does.
does. So
The bouquet is deceiving on this
yes,
for some reason.
it's not, give it a chance. Don't If you can get past the non-bouquet and chemically smell, there's actually some decent wood notes on this reposado.
Now, I want to say, in all fairness, it could just be this particular bottle that has
Right.
that chemical smell or a bouquet to it, which can happen. I mean, we're talking about spirits. We're talking about a distillation process. Things go wrong, go awry, and sometimes that just happens. Just like you get a corked bottle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get a corked bottle of wine. That's why when the server comes and pours wine at your table, he starts off with the person that's ordered the wine, serves a little bit, you look at it and you taste it and you tell him if it's good or not. If it's not good, you send it back.
That's it. And again, in all fairness, also Alex keeps these bottles sealed, and you keep them in a cool, dry place. Alex has a lot of experience with storing out liquors and wines and things, and so it's not going to be stuck in a garage that's 100 degrees. It'll be in a cool, dry place as it should be, and so this is happening live. We never influence each other as to if one of us has had this tequila before. We don't know. We try never to influence each other. In fact, we don't. I can be honest with you and tell you that he doesn't know if I've had it before or not until we're actually taping these. And I will say that give this one a chance, and if you can get past the bouquet, it's really got some decent flavor notes.
Maybe it needs the aerator.
Might need an aerator. The Venturi aerator.
The
If you haven't,
Venturi
the
aerator.
Venturi aerator. If you haven't seen our earlier, or if maybe it'll be upcoming, depending on how what order these are in, you'll see a small piece on Venturi aerators. There are wine aerators. We actually used an aerator by Venturi for tequila. And you can catch those here at tequilaaficionado.com. But right now, that's our take on the Reposado for Tequila 88. I'm Mike Morales.
I'm Alex Perez. You're watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff for Tequila Aficionado, tequilaaficionado.com.
It's easy for you to say.
My tongue got tangled. And
stick with us. We'll be right back with the añejo.
Yeah, we're going to try the añejo and see how that. I've got some high hopes for that one.
Me too.
Maybe that'll really seal it and make it even better. So we'll see. But as always, our recommendation is to sip wisely.
But this is based on physics, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a gimmick. And basically what it does is it shoots air through this little receptacle here that made noise.
So what was it noise that
It's just oxygen going through. It's just letting it through. There's if you look,
so
there's
the weight of the liquid is being forced through the
but it's the lever. There's a lever that goes up as opposed to down. See? And that going up forces it to be oxygenated. So now you have an instantly opened up, aerated sample of tequila.
The Venturi just opened it up. That's what it did.
Yep.
How about taste?
Let's see what we get. Mm.
That's amazing.
Is this the same booze?
That's very different on the palate.
It's very different. Everything is sharper, in my opinion. What do you think?
It is sharp, sharper,
It's
hotter,
sharper, hotter.
hotter.
You feel the pepper. You feel more of the
The peppers pop out in your mouth.
the more herbaceousness. You know now. You know that this is a lowlands tequila.
Wow.
In my opinion, without the aerator, the flavors were muted. The bouquet was there's what the aerator does for me, if I can term it as anything, it takes the static out of it, clarifies your radio station. All right, it takes the static out of your cable television. It's way sharper. It's the difference between shooting in film and shooting in HD. We're tasting in HD, ladies and gentlemen. I think
we're watching this in HD.
We're watching this, and now you're tasting it. If you could get any closer, you'd be able to smell it. So give it a try. Venturi aerators.